Hello, I'm Pamela Springer, and I'm coming to you today to present one of the areas that seems to freak out everyone, and that's how to retail. So today's presentation is going to focus on how you can be a retail rock star. I have found that many estheticians are not selling retail to their client. They're not sending them home with home care products. And that's unfortunate because how are you going to be in control of the outcome unless you give the products that they need for the service that they've had? If they have dry skin, but at home they're using a product that's causing or stripping the skin, well, now when they go home and start using that, they're going to feel as though your professional service was a waste of time and money because now their skin is dry and feels very tight. So, you as a professional not only will give them their service, but you as a professional now should educate them on why it's important for them to have certain ingredients in their home care products. I've already told you who I am, and many of you know me as founding the Skin and Makeup Institute of Arizona, but that I'm also a product developer for Global Skin Solutions. I've written a book, Radiance, Natural Radiance, a guide to ethnic skin, and now I've become a national trainer for aesthetic medicine providers. So, in this presentation, I want to create an experience. I want to help you create a repeat business. So, let's start with the initial call. When someone is booking an appointment, we know they're going to select the time and date. But now, as a provider, should ask what type of service they're requesting. There's so many services. They may just want to come in and have a nice, relaxing facial. They may want to come in and they have issues with a certain condition and they want to see if this is something that you can provide as a service, which we will call a corrective service. Or they may just want to come in and have a consultation with you to actually see if this is something they want to do because they've never had any services provided by a licensed skincare professional. So the first thing that you need to do is to allow them to receive a confidential client history form. And I have developed a writable form so that they can fill that form out and return it to you before they come to um, visit. And this allows me to understand some of the challenges they might have regarding their health or challenges they may have with different allergies and so forth and so on. So, my follow up statement would be to assess your concerns, we would like to provide you with our downloadable confidential client history form that I'll send to you by email. This will allow me to be more prepared for your appointment. Now, that sounds very professional, and I believe that it'll be very well received. So, what are some of the benefits of electronic intake form? Well, number one, the client won't have to do paperwork and it won't be on your dime having her sit in your reception area filling out paperwork. She'll be able to fill out this paperwork at her uh, within her time frame, and that would be greatly appreciated because she won't feel rushed and more or less will answer the questions more accurately. So, this form, once you receive it, you're going to be able to create a plan of action. And this is going to change the initial outcome because you're going to be able to start a treatment that will be really focused on what her skin care needs are. You should also consider creating a revisit form for your existing clients. And basically, it's a feedback form. This will give you an idea of how they responded to your treatment. It will also let you know what is going on before the next appointment. If they were satisfied with the work that was performed, and did they get a good value for the cost. And basically, I think the most important question is, were their expectations for today's visit met? So if they have any concern, this will also help you to immediately address those concerns. It's going to save you time and money because now you can either print and save the document, both documents in a folder, or you can back it up in a folder on your computer or in your iCloud service. Once you've received the actual intake form, you can explain the company's protocol. And I like to say, as a facility performing clinical treatments, our expert clinicians are trained on a variety of skin disorders. Now, if it's just you, you can say, one of my areas of expertise is that I have been trained on a variety of skin disorders. You would explain the primary cause of many of the conditions could possibly be the environment, medication, maybe your health challenges, lifestyle, or simply the use of products that are not formulated for the particular skin disorder that the client may have. Once the primary cause is determined, you'll explain that you'll give them a customized program that will consist of an aesthetic corrective treatment and a home care management program. So now you've introduced that home care management program. They will know that if the issues are reduced, that it's the products and the home care that will further maintain their treatment. It's important to take a before photo before the consultation. Why? Because now they have something that they can gauge the treatment on. Because before they leave, you're going to take an after picture and they will be able to see the immediate results that you have given them for that service. The other thing is having an interactive skin analysis. When I do a skin analysis, I really like to use a skin scanner, and some people call it a skin scope, because now the client can actually see what you're seeing under that black light. When you use a wood lamp, the client is lying there, the lights are off, and only you can actually see the issues that may be showing below the surface of the skin. So when you're in that skin scope and when that client is looking, they're actually asking questions, and usually they're really shocked at the conditions that prevail underneath the skin. In this case, this client was concerned. The first thing she saw was actually the whiteness under her brow and the bridge of her nose. And I was able to explain to her that is what healthy skin looks like. And that skin is only healthy is because she wears eyeglasses. And her eyeglasses are transitional, so she never takes them off. So once she goes out into the environment, the eyeglasses are actually uh, uh, shading, above, I'm sorry, below the brow and the bridge of her nose. So this is what normal skin would look like. If you also notice, she has a lot of hyperpigmentation that was not seen on the surface of her skin. So now this client is really engaged, and you explain to them this is just below the surface, and with our treatments, we can prevent some of that coming to the surface. Now, a lot of you do not have a skin scope. You more or less have just your magnifying lamp. And in this case, you want to make sure that when you're looking at the skin, quote unquote, reading the skin is like what I like to call it. You're actually touching the skin, you're pulling the skin gently so that you can actually see possibly the debris in the pores, or that they have very small pores because the skin is so dry, or you might be able to see some lesions that, let's say, sebaceous hyperplasia. You're actually taking the time to look at the skin and actually documenting what you see on the skin. This is going to help you actually come up, or your initial treatment plan, tweak it. Because remember, we talked about once they get that intake form to you, you'll be able to kind of gauge where you need to go if it's going to be a corrective service. So you might need to tweak it. And we tweak it by looking at the skin and seeing what the primary cause of an issue is. So, for instance, hyperpigmentation. The cause, the initial cause could be birth control. If it is birth control and they're still taking birth control, this is a cause that will be ongoing because they're still taking the the um, the birth control pills. So things like that you can explain to them. If it's caused by possible pregnancy and it's melasma, or better still, if it is caused by birth control pills, they may say, "Oh, I had that years ago. I took birth control pills years ago." Yes, and the damage was done years ago, and now it's coming to the surface. So little things like that will help you engage your client and understand the need for treatments and their home care products. So let's transition into sales. Okay? So you're going to talk about the products that they use, but you're not going to sell them. You're going to give them information on using the right products for their particular condition. So we're going to first discuss to them the pathophysiology of the skin. So you'll explain the process in which results in the signs and symptoms of, let's say, dry skin. So the signs and symptoms will be, if you noted, you have some fine lines and wrinkles. We see some red patches, and possibly, if you don't have a skin scanner, you will show them the photo and discuss and actually point out the red patches, the fine lines and wrinkles, and mention to them. You mentioned that the skin, is very itchy. That is also a sign of dry skin. And if you notice, your skin looks very dull and it has a very rough texture. So, um, to benefit your dry skin, I would suggest in the treatment, I will use a hyaluronic acid. And that is a serum that I'll be using. That's a humectant. And a humectant actually attracts water to the skin. And this assists in plumping and softening dry skin. It also helps treat underlying conditions like the skin you mentioned itched. Well, this will help to calm that and reduce the redness of your skin. Another ingredient that I'm going to mention is dimethicone. It's an emollient. It's a very inclusive. It's usually an oil base. And what it does is it occludes the skin, locking the moisture deeper into the layers of the skin, and it helps to fill in the spaces between the rough and peeling skin cell. So this also gives your texture a very smooth and soft feel. You'll further discuss about the irritation, and really that sensitivity is due to the dryness. So you'll recommend some of the home care regimens that should be included, like a gentle cleansing, a hydrating serum, and a very intensive moisturizer. And turn that around with saying, and what cleanser and moisturizer are you currently using? Now, the client may give you a green light by saying, I use product X, but what would you recommend? And in some cases, the client might give you the impression that she's very satisfied with her cleanser and moisturizer. So this is the time that you can suggest the use of a hydrating serum that will accelerate the smoothing out of the fine lines and wrinkles. Then you can mention, I noted on your intake form that your cleanser is not causing a stripping of the natural oils. But what I would like to suggest is adding a serum and an eye cream to your skincare regimen to actually help with those fine lines and wrinkles or crow's feet that you noted earlier in the photo that I took for you. So these are important products that may not be part of the client's home care program. So now you're giving them something that they don't have, or I should say suggesting something that they don't have. If it's a first service with you as an esthetician, I always explain the services and what is included in that service. So if I do mention the gentle cleanser, I explain that it's not going to strip the skin, it's not going to disrupt the protective layer, so it's going to be more hydrating for the skin. I also talk about the normalization of the pH of the skin with the toner, and it will have calming ingredients so that it can reduce the redness in the skin. And I'm going to select a mask that is also hydrating and has natural ingredients, and I'll mention whatever those ingredients are, and mention if they do have the dull skin, the shiitake mushroom ingredient will help to clarify and brighten the skin tone. We talked about the hydrating serum, which would be a hyaluronic acid, and we talked about that moisturizer that's going to lock in the moisture from all the products that were previously used. And then lastly, I mentioned about the sunscreen, and I'll explain the different sunscreens, a chemical sunscreen or a titanium dioxide or a zinc oxide sunscreen. But I'm going to choose the titanium dioxide because it's going to help to eliminate the irritation. And a lot of times after a facial, the skin can be very sensitive. To wrap everything up, now I'm going to show her the after photo. You can point out those results. Look how hydrated your skin is now. The lines are visibly diminished. And if you notice, the redness is significantly diminished. And feel the skin. If you notice, the texture is softer. And I would love for you, or I would like for you to return in approximately 4 weeks so we can continue this process. But in the meantime, the products that I suggested to you, I have available. And once we book the appointment, if you have any questions about them, I would be more than happy to explain further the need for these particular products for your skin type. So in closing, again, be an educator, not a salesperson. Ask them questions. Do you have any questions about your service? Do you have any questions regarding the products recommended? I've taken the liberty of checking products on your personal prescription brochure, and these products will continue to reduce your skin's dryness, fine lines, and maintain your skin's smooth texture. Now, today we have you're purchasing the eye serum and the hyaluronic acid. And I've checked off a few other things that will benefit your skin that we can discuss on our next visit. So, what day are you available in 4 weeks? And from there, you basically have given her not only the service, but you've educated them on the need for to return and the need to enhance that skin and maintain the skin for the next 4 weeks, because now they're using the products that will do that. So let's review. Remember, you need not be a great salesperson in order to be a rockstar retailer. Keep the client's best interest in mind. And always have a show and tell. Show them the before and then surprise them with the after photos. Help them to decide what to do to keep looking their best. And explain that they need to change their routine as the seasons change. If it's summer, you need something that's going to defend your skin from the sun. If it's winter, we need to defend your skin, have products to defend their skin for those winter months. And get them to understand that it's not a one-size-fits-all. You do not use the same product for years. You change, our skin change, and you will help them go through those transitions over the next few months and years with products and services. I hope this has helped you, and I look forward to other presentations that will help you to grow your business. I will download that writable contact form for you to see. Feel free to use it with your clients. I think it's an excellent tool that allows your clients to fill out that 3-page form in the convenience of their home. When they can think about it, they'll be able to look up the products and give you the brand names. They'll be able to look up their prescription, and you'll have an indication if there's going to be any contraindications with prescriptions or the routine they're in prior to them coming for the service. So I want you to keep up with the latest information, and if you visit our website, www.globalskinsolutions.com, you'll see a variety of information on different types of skin as well as procedures. And don't forget to join our mailing list, and know that we offer on-site, off-site, and one-on-one training. Lastly, just give us a little shout out by liking us on Facebook.com. That's going to be Facebook.com Global Skin Solutions. Thank you for your time.